How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I would do the Teen Titans in the DCU. This falls in line with my other Saga videos, where I take a character, or in this case, a team, and describe how I would do their arc in the DCU. I've already done Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, and the Justice League, and they're not required viewing for this video, but I do recommend you check those out as I did work pretty hard on them. Without further ado, let's jump into how I would do the Teen Titans in the DCU. Similarly to the Justice League video, before we get into the actual story, we should probably get into the roster and who will be a part of the team. For starters, the leader of the team would be Dick Grayson or Nightwing. To me, it's hard to imagine introducing the Teen Titans with Tim Drake or Damian Wayne as the team's leader. Nightwing is as much a core piece to the Teen Titans as Batman is to the Justice League, and I would definitely showcase him as the leader and the main character of our first Titans movie. Joining Nightwing will be one of, if not his biggest love interests, and that is Starfire. This is another no-brainer to me. Starfire is integral to the Teen Titans and always has been, so she would definitely be a part of the team as well. We would also see one of my favorite all-time DC characters, Wally West, as he takes on the role of Kid Flash. I think Wally West is a top 5 DC superhero of all time, and although I wouldn't be at all opposed to seeing him start off as the DCU Flash, I think it makes the most sense for now to have him start off on the Teen Titans. Next up, Beast Boy. Beast Boy has always been a core member of the Teen Titans, and it's pretty much a no-brainer to have him in here as well. I would be pretty surprised if we didn't see him in the original lineup, honestly, and he makes up the funnier, more jokey side of the team. And rounding out the team, we'll have Cyborg, Raven, Arsenal, and the first Aqualad, Tempest, Donna Troy Wonder Girl, and lastly, a bit of an out there member, Jericho, the son of Deathstroke. So for the most part, we're going with the original team for the first movie. Pretty much exclusively the Marv Wolfman Teen Titans lineup, and with the team out of the way, let's jump into our first movie. So to kick off our DCU Titans saga, we have a Titans The New Blood based on the story arc of the same name from Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run. So The New Blood is a story written by Jeff Johns and takes place near the beginning of his arc on the Titans in the early 2000s. In this story, a new Brother Blood arises and kidnaps Raven with the intent of marrying her, with the result of their marriage prophetically bringing the new leader of the Church of Blood. Brother Blood is a pretty twisted villain and would definitely be a fun start to a DCU Teen Titans trilogy. Brother Blood is the head of the Church of Blood, a cult that worships Trigon, who is essentially the devil. I know we also have the real devil in DC Comics, but Trigon in a lot of ways is similar to Satan. And these guys do pretty screwed up shit. A lot of their comic appearances involve quite a bit of gnarly stuff. For example, whoever carries the title of Brother Blood bathes in the pool of blood, which keeps his appearance young and makes him immortal. The title of Brother Blood is passed down from generation to generation. I'm pretty sure there's been like 9 or 10 of these guys. But yeah, the general gist of the story would be that Raven is kidnapped and the Titans must come together to save her before it's too late. This movie would be a swan song for the original Teen Titans. A last dance, if you will. In my mind, these characters would be in their late teens, probably between the ages of 17 to 19 years old. The reason I decided to do this is because we know Damian Wayne will be introduced as Robin in The Brave and the Bold, so we'll be getting a newer generation of young heroes that can take over as the Teen Titans, while we see a good amount of this generation move on to bigger things. Another character that I think fits really well for that is Wally West. I feel like I mention this every video at this point, but with Hal Jordan being played by a 60-year-old actor, I think it's likely they're going to go older for Barry Allen as well. Because of this, I think there's a good chance we see Wally West take over as the Flash sooner rather than later. We already know that John Stewart Green Lantern will be appearing in Man of Tomorrow, so I think like the mantle will be passed from Hal to John in the Lanterns TV show, there's a good chance we'll see the same thing happen with Wally taking over the mantle of the Flash. So although we will see Wally as Kid Flash in this movie, I think it's likely that in the DCU, Wally will become the Flash sooner rather than later. I also heard a rumor recently from IMDb that Phil Lord and Chris Miller would potentially be interested in doing a Flash movie for the DCU. I don't know if it has any merit to it, but I think that would be awesome. Those two guys have proven themselves as amazing filmmakers, and I think seeing their take on the Flash would be quite the spectacle. Anyways, back to the movie, we would see Nightwing lead the Titans into battle against Brother Blood, in which this would be their last true mission as Titans together before moving on to better things. Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, and Arsenal, as well as Jericho. Another thing I would want to highlight with this film would be the relationship between Nightwing and Kid Flash. These two are best friends in the comics, so I would definitely have them as best friends within this movie as well. It's a dynamic that works so well and would be great to see in the DCU, especially as they get older and grow as heroes together. But yeah, that's how I would do a first Teen Titans movie in the DCU. A sort of swan song for the original team, while they take on the Church of Blood to save Raven. At the end of the film, we see the Titans go to face Brother Blood, and in the ensuing battle, Jericho is killed. This heavily sets up our next Teen Teen Titans film. Next up, we're straying away from the Teen Titans team a little bit with a Nightwing solo movie. So a Nightwing solo movie has been in the works for a very long time. There isn't one in active development currently, at least that we know of, but under the old WB and DC regime, there was a big push for a Nightwing movie around the same time that a Batgirl movie was in development. And I think it's for good reason. Nightwing in a lot of ways is the heart of the Bat family. He was the first Robin, and in many ways represents the leadership and interpersonal skills that Batman does not possess. I'm not saying Batman isn't a leader, we obviously know he is, but I'd argue that Nightwing is stronger in this regard. So in this movie, we would see the origin story of the hero Nightwing, but not in a traditional origin story sense. We wouldn't see how Nightwing came to be Robin, or what happened with his parents. We would instead see how he becomes the solo hero Nightwing, and how he's able to get out of Batman's shadow, taking over his own city of Bloodhaven to keep it under his protection. Bloodhaven is a little bit different than Gotham. Unlike Gotham, Bloodhaven never had a so-called golden age, and has never really had a strong history. It has always been controlled by the mob, and could never really get going as a strong city. So in this film, we'll see Nightwing take on the ultimate mob boss of the city, Blockbuster. Blockbuster is a lot like the Kingpin from Marvel Comics, where he owns the police, the courts, and just about everything in between. This would be a more grounded story than what we're used to seeing in the DCU. There wouldn't be many superpowers involved, and it would be a more grounded detective story focusing on Nightwing trying to take down Blockbuster in the city of Bloodhaven. I would also have Barbara Gordon as a major supporting character in this film. I think at this point it's likely she would still be Oracle, so we wouldn't see her as Batgirl, but she would be the girl in the chair helping Nightwing as he navigates the city and its crime. As for tone, I like to think of a solo Nightwing movie being of similar tone to the Daredevil Netflix series, where it's pretty dark and grim, but rather than having a brooding hero like Daredevil, we get a funny, more jokey hero with Nightwing as the main character. Next up in our Teen Titans saga, we have a new roster of Titans going up against Deathstroke. So Deathstroke is one of the most important Teen Titans villains, if not the most important. When you think of the Teen Titans' biggest villains, you usually tend to think of Deathstroke and another character we'll see in this saga in just a minute. He seems to always be involved with the Titans regardless of which iteration of the team he's going up against. And in this movie, our new roster of Teen Titans will be put to the test by facing perhaps their greatest enemy yet. For this story, we'll see a new leader of the Teen Titans. With Nightwing off in Bloodhaven now doing his own thing, we're going to need a new leader, and for this iteration of the Teen Titans, I decided to go with none other than the third Robin, Tim Drake. Now I've been on record saying a few times I don't know if there's going to be room for Tim Drake in the DCU. The first Batman movie in this universe will have Batman already with Damian Wayne as his Robin. This likely means that both Dick and Jason have gone through their respective Robin tenures, and I think after the death of Jason Todd, Bruce would have a hard time finding a reason to have another Robin other than, hey, this is my son Damian Wayne, he's already trained as an assassin at 10 years old, let me train him my way and make him my third Robin. Regardless, maybe Tim Drake in the DCU will be an independent Robin, never training under Batman himself, but wanting to become Robin regardless. I feel like that would be a very Tim Drake thing to do. In the comics, Batman didn't want a new Robin following the death of Jason, but Tim insisted that he needed one, and even went to Dick Grayson to ask him to become Robin again. Dick refused, and Tim eventually was able to earn Batman's favor and become the new Robin. So yeah, my guess is that if Tim Drake exists within the DCU, he became Red Robin without the approval of Batman, and becomes a vigilante within Gotham City sort of allied with Batman, but not officially a Robin. So in this film, he gets the attention of the Teen Titans, and becomes the new Robin-esque leader of the team. Cyborg, Starfire, Raven, Wonder Girl, and Beast Boy all remain on the team to keep some cohesion and veteran leadership, while members Arsenal, Tempest, Nightwing, and Wally West go to do their own thing outside of the Titans. I think Arsenal goes off to form the Outlaws with Red Hood, Tempest goes back to Atlantis, Wally becomes the main Flash, and Nightwing, as we know, goes off to Bloodhaven for his own solo movie. I would also definitely introduce the first Superboy in this film, Connor Kent. For those that don't know, Connor is a clone of both Lex Luthor and Superman, and he was a regular member of Young Justice during the 90s. So I'm thinking at the beginning of the movie, they infiltrate LexCorp and free Superboy, and over the course of the film, Superboy learns what it means to become human, and becomes a big ally and member of the new iteration of the team. We'll also see more new members of the team with Kaldur, the second Aqualad, most recognizable from the Young Justice show, and Miss Martian, a young white Martian with ties to Martian Manhunter. So the main reason that Deathstroke is going after the Titans is because of the death of his son, Jericho. He'll be out to get revenge on the Titans for the death of his son in the previous movie, and he'll be attempting to get revenge with his daughter, Rose Wilson, also known as the Ravager. So that would be the general gist of this movie. We see a new roster of Teen Titans going up against their greatest enemy, Deathstroke, as he seeks out revenge on the Titans for the death of his son. In the end, we see the Titans emerge victorious over Deathstroke, and we see Tim Drake become the new leader of the Titans, proving himself as a worthy Robin and good team leader. I could have gone with the Judas Contract for this movie, but I decided not to because it's the most adapted story in Teen Titans media. We have gotten an animated movie, it was adapted in the Titans show. I think it's time we see another Teen Titans story adapted, and although I am a fan of the original Titans story by Marv Wolfman, I would like to see a newer, more modern Deathstroke Teen Titans story adapted, which is why I decided to go with something more original. Next up, we have another detour from our main Teen Titans trilogy, and that would be an animated Teen Titans spin-off that would be a prequel, and would see the original team in a sort of anthology series going on adventures. With Damian starting off as Robin in the DCU, and a lot of the original Teen Titans are on their way out of the team. And I honestly think that sucks. I think the original team of Nightwing, Raven, Beast Boy, Starfire, Cyborg, Arsenal, Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Wonder Girl is the best iteration of the team. So in this show, we would see the Teen Titans from the very beginning, with Dick Grayson as a young Robin in the show, and the rest of the team meeting each other for the first time. As for comic influence, I would go with a mix of Marv Wolfman's new Teen Titans run, as well as World's Finest Teen Titans by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Again, this would be a sort of anthology show, so we would follow the original team as they go on their first few adventures. I don't have much to add other than that. I think it would be really fun to see, and it would give fans of the original Teen Titans run something to chew on. Next up in our Teen Titans saga, we have Teen Titans: The Trigon War. So this would be the movie where Trigon attempts to take Raven as his own, and comes to Earth to take over the planet. For this film, we would see most of the original team come back. We would see Nightwing, Connor Kent, Wonder Girl, Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, Red Robin Tim Drake, and Rose Wilson rounding out the team trying to stop Trigon. Let's also throw Impulse in there. I really like Bart. He's a fun character. He's from the far future and a distant relative of Barry Allen. And I think it's just nice to have a Kid Flash on the team, so let's also throw Bart Allen Impulse in there as well. We would also see Brother Blood and the Church of Blood return in this film as well. In the first film, we saw them attempt to kidnap Raven in order to use her to summon the new leader of the Church of Blood, but in this film, they'll just be the loyal allies and servants to Trigon. Now, because this is a magic-based enemy with Trigon, we're also going to need some magic heroes to back up the Teen Titans in their quest to defeat him. So as much as this would be a Teen Titans movie, I think it's likely we would see the Justice League Dark members show up for this film as well. Let me know if you would like to see a Justice League Dark saga in the comments below, because I do feel like I have some good ideas with that as well. But yeah, we'd need magic-based heroes to help out the Titans, which is why John Constantine would be one of the core heroes of this movie. I love John Constantine. He's a morally gray character, but in the end, he's always trying to do the right thing, even if he does some questionable things to get what he wants. That's just part of why I love him. I think because this is a movie that focuses on Trigon as the main antagonist, we would have to see Raven as the main character. In my mind, she would have been sidelined a lot during the events of the first film due to her being missing, so in this movie, we would see her as one of the characters with the most screen time. This is, after all, a movie that ultimately pits her up against her father, so it only makes sense to see her as one of the main characters. I also think it would make sense to see Zatanna in this film. She's another really cool magic-based character, and her and Constantine often go hand in hand when it comes to fighting off magic-based threats. This movie would also see Nightwing return to the Teen Titans as he realizes that Raven is in grave danger. For this movie overall, the stakes would be much higher, so seeing most of the original team come back to stop Trigon would make a ton of sense. But yeah, overall, this movie would see the original team coming back together, joining the new members to stop a very large threat in Trigon, in which they ultimately succeed. I think at the end though, Raven makes the ultimate sacrifice to save the world, sacrificing herself while taking out Trigon in an effort to take them down once and for all. But yeah, that's how I would do a DCU Teen Titans saga. Sorry it took me so long to get this video out. It had been in the works for a while, but I just had some stuff come up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.